What is up, everybody? As you can see, I'm joined by my brother in arms, the man that is as crazy as me, if not a little bit crazier. Is that all right, James? Can I get away with that one?
I think that's fair. I do think that's fair. We're crazy bastards, but at the end of the day, it's great to be crazy. You only live once. Life is short. All that business. So listen, lads, it's great to be on the show with you again. And let's have a little bit of fun with a lot of things that we need to break down after yesterday's... wait, yesterday? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday.
But it's hard to
It
keep
was
up, isn't it?
yesterday, and it was an amazing day as well. I've realised since like leaving school and like sixth form that like days aren't a thing no more. They're just like if Liverpool are playing, it's a Saturday, Sunday, but even now they've got midweek games, so it is what it is. But no, lad, looking forward to delving into everything about Liverpool FC and their under 12s.
We are live, aren't we? I'm just looking now on the chat. We definitely
are live. We
Cool.
are live. It says end broadcast.
Good. Hopefully we are. Hopefully we are. 'Cause I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous.
for the
When I
best.
left my own devices, James, when Connor's not around, shit goes wrong very quickly. I'm one of them lads that if you have that big red button that says "Do not press," I'm pressing it. I am.
Yeah. Just see what happens.
Yeah, them do not break glass things and all of that. All I want to do is just put my knuckles through them all the time.
Like, what happens if I just smash its face in? Like, no, I hear what you're saying.
Exactly. You know what? Let's have a little ad read before we get going, James. Because look, you're not.
I love an ad read
now, but you might want a new fragrance, a new smell going into the year
you
2022. James, do you know anywhere I can get a discount off any male grooming products? Because I'm stuck.
You're stuck, are you? Well, listen, you are lucky that I am the postman. I am the postman because I always deliver, and you just need to use the code WFM20, which, by the way, when you type that in, you will be saying the variation of or the abbreviation of "we are fucking massive," and therefore will give you 20% off of any Manscaped products that you so desire, whether that's the fragrance, whether it's the shavers, whether it's the whatever whether it's a gift, whether it's for yourself. Doesn't matter. That will get you 20% off all of it.
Just because of our sheer mahoosiveness, you get 20% off and free shipping.
Just because we're massive.
There you go.
I'm not going to lie. I wish Manscaped would send me a haircut because I very much need one right now. That's maybe the one thing they can't provide. But if you use the shavers and you get creative and start watching some tutorials, then you never know.
We had to do a bit of a quick, smart hop, skip, and a jump to bring our young lad to the barbers the other day because he got out the hippo scissors and went on his fringe. He had a little go at his fringe. So there was an emergency.
I've done that before.
Emergency barber's visit for the young man.
I've done that before and it didn't end well. Me hair looked like stairs. It was just going down. Like it was like my fringe weren't as long as it was right now. Like it was all trimmed and kind of shorter. So my fringe went to about here. It's just going down like that. And I'd done that a day before picture day. Really, really embarrassing.
Always, isn't it? As a parent, it's always
the photo downstairs.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he's all good. He's all fresh and clean and got a nice little haircut. And he's all.
We love that.
He's happy. So we love that. Mark, by the way, thank you for the super chat. Said, want to wish you and the family a very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much, my man. So look, James, I wanted to ask so many questions. You were lucky enough to be at that absolute
crazy fest.
Game. Yeah, it was mad. Absolutely
best
mad.
game I've been to this season. I'm sure that's not really too surprising for you to hear. And that's going through many big results, 4-0s, 5-0s, a lot of convincing performances, some good games where Salah scored some world-class goals. But this game was something else entirely. Like this is the experience that I received as a fan, being inside the stadium, and it does put it in perspective how lucky I am to get to go there all the time because, yourself, like if you lived here, I'm sure you'd be a regular goer to the games and stuff like that. Many other people are in a position where they can't just go 15 minutes and walk to the stadium, whereas I've got that luxury. So being at a game like that, first 10 minutes, it was already killed off. The atmosphere was down.
How are you feeling? Because look, let's go right back to
let's go.
Team sheets came out. So you've seen our team sheet and you're thinking, well, this team sheet's going to be judged by whatever team sheet Leicester put out. That's what I was thinking. And then Leicester go pretty strong. What were you feeling at the start?
What I've been saying to you all week is it's a quarter final. You do this is the part of the tournament where you start to get a little bit serious, take into consideration there's no Man City, take into consideration Leicester are most likely going to take this more seriously than we are. They're not having a good season. They need to get a trophy to really make it look like Brendan. Imagine that in less than a year or less than a year. An FA Cup, a Community Shield and a League Cup. Leicester have got something to fight for there, so it didn't surprise me they went strong, but it really did surprise me that in some of the positions it weren't even second choice. Nico Williams was playing right wing, Conor Bradley was playing, and I like Conor Bradley, but I think Nico Williams plays right back. I was actually thinking Trent was going to play, but at least Nico Williams, and then you start whoever up front, like Jota, Firmino, Minamino, or whoever, however way you want to order that. But then we go into the game. Even Cometio, what are you doing in the team? Like, I know Nat Phillips was injured, so that's fair enough, but Konate doesn't play 3 games a week. He's not someone who's a regular starter, so why are you treating him like that? He's played some games recently, in all fairness, but not to the point that Van Dijk's been playing, Matip's been playing. So we can afford to play Konate one more time in a week. He is only 22. You know what I mean? He's not an old man. He's not so... Like, James Milner plays 3 times in a week. I'm sure Konate can do the same, which, by the way, when he came on, he was amazing.
Oh, he was, yeah.
But... yeah, just everything felt weird, and then they score the goals, and that's very early on in the game, and the whole stadium just looking at each other like, so yeah, how many are we going to be getting fucked by tonight then? Because it felt that way, and then we get one back, little bit of hope, we started building a little bit of momentum in the game, and then Maddison just goes and fucks one in the net, and we're just thinking, yeah, man, Vardy's already got 2, he's probably going to get like 2 more. Maddison's just scored a worldie. It's just not our night. Like, maybe we might get a goal or 2. I didn't see it personally, and it was just very flat, you know, going into half time. I was so depressed, and then it goes into the second half, and then we start to play a bit better. Like, we made the subs. Naby Keita came on, Milner, friggin' Jota, Konate. Like, some of the players that should have been starting in my eyes. If you're going to rotate the squad, at least play your plan B, not 7 in Cometio. Like, don't do that, please. And even though Joe Gomez had, in my opinion, a worse game than Cometio, still, like, it was a dodgy decision. Then we create chances, and certain ones aren't going in, but it got to a stage in the game where it was like, hey, we can actually come back and get this, you know. And then we knew it was penalties right after, and then Minamino, after that mistake off Indeed, he just absolutely chests it down like the Japanese Messi that he is, and just slots it into the bottom corner. Craig, it was glorious. When you talk about it felt like a Champions League night when it got to the second half. It didn't have that League Cup feel no more. Leicester fans were so silent in comparison to the first. Then it goes to penalties, and the rest is history. But the night was amazing from start to finish. I won't even lie.
You kind of... I know we're sitting here, we're both saying the same thing. Would have liked him to have gone stronger, but it ended the perfect way. So it ended in a night that you're not going to forget, with a team that you felt a little bit deflated about, with a starting performance that you're thinking, but all the time in the back of our heads, we know we've done this before, we've seen this before, anything is possible. And I was still saying right at the end, I'm not giving up, but I gotta lie, when there was an instant where Minamino just miscontrolled one near the end, he couldn't bring it down and out of the box. I thought, that might be it.
I thought Minamino had a terrible game. I thought he was shit all game, but he was there for the big moment.
Like you said, when Konate came on, he looked like a beast out there. An absolute beast.
Immense. Konate, that was like Virgil presence, the way he was in that game. He wouldn't let Xhaka get through. He wouldn't let Vardy get through. He was just... He was the sign, do not pass. He was the red button that you do not press. But we press it, Craig, and then that's what you get. You get a wild reaction like that, and he's still not going to let you through. I'm sure he was a bouncer one day in his time, because...
They made the big mistake, didn't they? They made the big mistake of riling the crowd up. I think it was Tielemans on the far side of the pitch. There was a bit of argy-bargy.
Oh, yeah, when he got into a fight. Yeah. I was thinking, what was that over? But... Konate, like, it's amazing how we can hold off players and then still let off the ball and pass it. His passing's not that bad. He doesn't make any stupid passes. He's got a good reading of the game, which I think we just lacked a lot in Gomez and Cometio. Just when he came in, it just felt like we brought in Virgil van Dijk, and it was madness because we didn't even have Virg to bring on. So I was made up with Konate, but I do want to talk about Naby Keita as well. I think he was brilliant.
Just real quickly, let me just bring this up and say a thank you to Bill. Thank you, Bill. You're very kind.
It's like Bill.
I really appreciate that. And glad you've enjoyed it, my man. It's been great having you with us. How did you feel going into Penos? Because the momentum was clearly with us at that point, but you looked at Chelsea. For me, it just looked like, so you see Kasper Schmeichel in goal, big, imposing figure. And then the Irish Iker Casillas just looked like a tall boy. He looked like a tall
Irish
boy.
Iker Casillas, Craig! The best Irish goal. You keep mentioning this fella from Man City. Fair enough, he might be decent. But he's not Irish Iker Casillas. He's not. We've proven that international footy doesn't always matter on who's the best player. That starts. Kelleher is clear. He is not only better than this fella, but he is one of the best backup goalkeepers in the world. And I've just said it. Said one of. He's getting there, Craig. And listen, I'm a very reactionary person. I understand that. But still, give me my moment because he is unbelievable. 2 penalty shootouts now that he's won us. Arsenal 5-5, and now we talk about a huge game. Imagine if we go on to win this.
Yep.
You've got to talk
amazing.
about Quaveen Kelleher.
Like he must have felt after. So he saves the Luke Thomas penalty, I think it was. And then we see Taki steps up and just clips the bar and puts it over.
Does a Bruno Fernandes. Do you remember when Bruno missed that penalty time ago? And it went just right over the bar. Who was that against? I can't even remember. It was at Old Trafford. And he just go whoosh. That just reminded me of that. I was like, oh no. Because if he scored that, we would have won, wouldn't have we? I believe.
And, we would. Then it went to sudden death and he just said, look, I got this, lads. Relax.
I've got this.
You knew Jota wasn't missing, by the way. I would have put my life
Not a chance.
on him to score.
Oh, yeah, we were very confident we were going to win. When Kelleher made the first save, that was when I knew, like, yeah, this is going to happen. Even when Minamino missed, I was like, I'm still confident. I really believed in Kelleher, honestly. Like, I know we could have maybe done better with one of the goals, but, like, still, lad, like, he was a solid performance all night. Like, he made a good save in the second half, I believe it was, and that keeps us in the game, which is huge. His composure's unbelievable, and I think that's one thing we need to mention, Craig. Like, Nat Phillips, let's be honest, nobody in the Premier League is looking at Nat Phillips for them as a starting centre-back a year ago. But he's got the composure still to come up to a Liverpool team and step up. Kelleher, same situation. Nico Williams, who I also thought had a great game at right wing, by the way. Like, I thought he was one of the better players that started out of everyone who did. Even the way Minamino, he doesn't always have a great game, but he can still pop up with a goal. How important has he been in the League Cup? Origi, a player that teams literally weren't buying. And he's here stepping up, winning us games. AC Milan in the Champions League, Wolves in the Premier League. And I know Origi never played, but still just another example of someone who they're stepping up to the occasion with such composure. It shows how comfortable this squad is with each other, that no matter who we start, we've still got the possibility of having a beautiful Anfield special night. And I speak to some of the lads who came through the academy, like Tyler Morton and stuff like that, and I just said to him, like, lad, you've had your, like, Anfield night, and you've only been starting for a few games. You know how boss that is? Like, no matter what happens, how good or not good his career is at Liverpool, he's had one of those Anfield nights, which is just insane to say. So, everything about that, best game of the season for me. Brilliant the way Klopp made the substitutions at the right time because he didn't make them in the 60th minute or 70th minute. The young players still got to get a bit of experience, and it was just a great night for everyone, lads. Can't believe it. And we're in the semi-finals, for fuck's sake. I think we forgot about that, just with that madness of the game.
The big question comes from Lil X here.
James, how did Leicester tears taste? Lad, I wish I still had some to have some on stream, but I had to gobble them up straight away. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable, because that's the only thing you're going to be feeding this Scouser this Christmas is your tears, Leicester fans. So have that in your faces, snot bags. Because, lad, like, I understand you have your chants and stuff for your opposition fans, but, you're chanting about poverty, lad. Like, a lot of people in Liverpool, they're born into shit circumstances, do you know what I mean? So, like, Anfield isn't the most richest area either. The stadium's nice, but when you go a little bit beyond that, you'll see all the council houses, lad. Like, even someone DM me the other day was like, lads, you in your council house, this, that. I was like, I do live in a council house, lad, but it is what it is, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking, it's banter, but it's just old, and everyone sings it at Anfield, so it was nice to get that last laugh at them, the pricks.
Damn right, mate. I was giving you a moment there because you deserve that little relief. Because the shithousing from the fans, from Vardy, from Maddison, and you know who else was up for it? Yuri Tielemans. Not that he was shithousing, but he was riled up for that game. And the penalty shootout, he was bouncing up and down, telling Kasper Schmeichel where to dive. It was beautiful. It almost felt like we were winning that no matter what. Because if it went to extra time, we were the team on the rise. We'd have beaten them. If it went to penalties, it was a bit more of a coin toss, but I tell you what, I loved it. I loved every minute of it, mate. And
besides the first 45, Besides the first 45.
But that plays in. Like, I was like,
Nah, it does.
I got a bit of
It does.
abuse because I was saying to Klopp, "Why the fuck are you smiling?" Because he was smiling at one point. Now, I suppose you either smile or you lose the plot. It's one or the other. But I was getting a bit wound up because I wanted that trophy. I kept saying to
Yeah.
people, like people can talk about money in Champions League and all, but when we all grow up and we all fall in love with the game, it's because we want to see people lift trophies. I mean, we want that silverware. We want to see the Hendo Shuffle. So I was a little bit upset that we were perhaps not taking it seriously. But half time let us know everything. He made the changes he could, came on, they had the impact, and we get great momentum to carry forward now because of that win. We've got Arsenal in the semis.
I am still worried that he doesn't play his best team in the semis. I'm
2 legs at the minute anyway for the semis. So,
and it's obviously Anfield. It's Anfield in the second leg as well, which is huge, huge. That's exactly the way I want it to be. I know it's not Champions League, but it's the same situation. So
I won't be
just think
I'm raging on this the second leg.
There'll be no Salah or Mane for them games either, I don't believe. So that'll be unfortunate. But I'm like, it just told me off his lineup yesterday that I don't think he cares about the League Cup. Like, I've always questioned, like, does Klopp actually not care about it? Or does he just really want to rest his players? But then I think, like, he's just not asked about it, lad. Like, he's not like that, and I don't like that myself, but I just don't think he really cares about the League Cup. And I hope I'm proven wrong by a good lineup in the semis.
I think something clicked in his head last night after the game. I think he's seen what it meant to get the win because his match reaction interview was very telling. He was very emotional, very proud, and very.
He might be staying. He might be staying beyond 2024 now. With that reaction, he was like, "I fell back in love with the game."
It was brilliant. It was one of those magic nights of overcoming adversity once again to get it done, and against the team that, let's be honest, they came to win. They went as strong as they could. As you said at the very start, they wanted a little spell of an FA Cup, Charity Shield, and they wanted that. They did. And when you're in the corners, you should want it.
100. And if you're Leicester, they're the trophies you go for. That's what Everton dream for. Newcastle, just the cup run. Even, lower league teams, that's their chance to really go ahead and shock the world in a way because you just don't expect it. So, like, Leicester really did want that. And the thing is, it was literally just for me, it was minutes. It was minutes for youngsters and to experience something. And I think you're right, like Klopp now, or I hope you're right when you say that, Klopp now really does see the power of this competition, what a trophy means to the fans, even if it is something as little as the League Cup. Because I want the League Cup.
You're a match going red. I'm sure you love a little trip down to Wembley for the League
Cup.
100%.
100%. And, like, just because I've been to Wembley with Liverpool before against Everton and how good that was, of course you want that again. You want them trips to Wembley. Because what is football? I think football is experiences. That's why we love Steven Gerrard so much, because the experiences and how it made us feel. Jurgen Klopp, the experiences and how it made us feel. I love the fact he's always doing the fist pumps as well now, by the way. He's doing that more regularly. And I like it. It feels good every single time. Just, oh, hey, oh. And then he does like a spin of the fist, lad, like he's a wrestler, ready to just fucking 619 your ass, and then he just goes, way! And it's amazing. You've just got the goosebumps booming through your skin, ice through the veins type of stuff. It's amazing, Craig, lad. So, all the time, I admire it.
Every single man, woman, and child supporting Liverpool yesterday would have left that stadium bouncing into Christmas, absolutely ready to go, full of the festive spirit and believing again. And these are the little moments in the season that might give these lads that extra little bit of energy when they're waning in a busy festive period. This bit of momentum, you can't. Winning is a habit, and it's a good habit, and that's why I don't like to take these domestic cup competitions less serious, because it's a trophy. At the end of the day, it's a trophy, and when you get to this stage, you gotta want to win it.
Well, I like the sound of Liverpool have only lost one game this season in all competitions, by the way. That includes a full group stage of the group of death, and we're in the semi-finals of the League Cup. I like the sound of us only losing one game, because the greatest teams, the greatest 11s, because this Liverpool team has been held back by the fact they haven't got League Cups, they haven't got FA Cups. Well, now they're still in every competition. I'm not saying we're going to win the quadruple, but we can if we really, really wanted to. And the League Cup is the first part of that. And I bet you any money, if we do end up winning the quadruple, people will start looking at this League Cup a little bit more seriously. Because imagine that, that's legendary stuff. How many teams do you see win a quadruple?
Not many.
Like, especially from England, like has it ever happened? Like, I might have, it probably has, but it's very rare, and it hasn't happened for a long time.
I don't think anyone's done the quadruple. I mean, I've seen there's been an FA Cup, a league, and a Champions League, I think, but not the quadruple.
And it's very unlikely we will, but you might as well give yourself the best possible chance, and that always starts with the League Cup. So get it down, yeah. It's like your starter. It's not going to be as good as the main course, but still get it down, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Get it down. You get ready for what is about to come, because you never know the absolute greatness that could come at the end of the season, Craig. Like, I genuinely believe this team hasn't even reached what it can. When it won the league, when it won the Champions League, I felt we should have been doing doubles. So now it's about time that we start making up for lost time and win these damn trophies.
Nice, I like it. Let's move on to have a little chat about Joe Gomez, and I'll start with this super chat. Kind of one of the titles of the stream tonight is about Gomez. Look, it's a bit of a far-fetched link to Real Madrid, in all honesty, but it does look like we're going to lose a centre. Not lose, we're willing to sell a centre back. And odds are it's going to be Nat Phillips. He's come out and spoken about his not being against a move away, because he just wants to play football, and that's sound. I don't have any issues with anyone that wants to play football. Their careers are short. But it is no accident or no mistake to say that Joe Gomez wasn't great last night. Now, you got to caveat that by saying he's had very limited time on the pitch, a couple of substitute appearances and working his way back, but he looked a bit off the pace last night to me.
I think you've been nice. I think that's a bit of an understatement. Don't think he was that good. Like Joe Gomez, but oof. That performance for me, and many performances recently of where I've seen Joe Gomez, Aston Villa 7-2 stands out. He was terrible in that game. Going forward, like even a few other games where he stepped up this season, I don't know. I'm a bit one of them with Joe Gomez. Like, I'm starting to think he's got a lot of mistakes in his game.
For a while, mate. I said I'd sell him if the right offer came in. I think even me and you had this conversation on a stream a while back, maybe with Steve.
I'm still not at that point of selling him, but I can understand if people do want him to go.
I'm not saying he's finished, and I'm not saying he's crap. Far from it. But I think if you take it all into all the factors in, he's fourth choice now. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care what he did in the past, and I don't care. He's fourth choice to me, because look at Canade last night. Look at that difference that he made when he came on that pitch. Leadership, looked like men against boys with their possession.
He was insane. Canate was, and he's the French under 20-something captain, like, you know what I mean, the B team or whatever it is. Like, he's their captain, and that kind of showed when he came on the pitch, because he's cheeky as well. Remember what he was like with Fred when he just literally like held him and laughed at him, like he weren't even taking it that serious. And then like in the game against Leicester, he was genuinely just holding players off, pushing them all over, like he was a presence. And I don't know, man, like I do really like Kanate. He really has grew on me over the weeks, and I think if you ask me who's number 3 and 4, because a few weeks ago I was saying it's still up in the air, but now it's Kanate for me. I agree with you. But I still do think there's a possible future there for Joe Gomez. But if you'd asked me 6 months ago, I would have said there's certainly a future there for Joe Gomez. Now I'm unsure, because he does put these type of performances often. And that's not me hating. That's not me jumping off the bus too soon. I still want to give him a chance, because I think how attribute-wise, I think he's maybe got more than Kanate attribute-wise, like in a way, like, because he's good on the ball. He's shown that before. He's shown he's versatile. He's shown he's quick. He's shown that he's strong. Like, I don't know. I do think there is a top-class centre-back there, but he just needs to show it.
Oh, look, I try and look at everything together when I make these statements. So, has Joe Gomez got ability? 100%, no doubt about it. Unquestionable. But for me, I just look at partnerships at centre-back, and they need to be people who are almost bulletproof, people who can play 30, 35 games in a season. And for somebody who's still so young, yet so experienced as Joe is, I can't get away from his injury record. And look, I don't like to use it as something a stick to beat him with, because it's not his fault. I don't want to be injured. But at the end of the day, you need rhythm. You need rhythm. People are saying there right now he needs a run of games, and that's true. Absolutely true. But has anybody got any real confidence that he'd be able to fulfill those run of games. I don't. I feel like his body just isn't set for the rigors of it. And that's not a knock to him as a lad. That's just unfortunate. And he's been really unlucky with some of the injuries as well. But I think right now, where we are, Matip looks like he's in a lovely rhythm. Van Dijk's getting back to his best. Kanade is only getting better. He'll only get better. And if you're Joe Gomez, you probably rightly feel you are a Premier League caliber starting centre-back.
Yeah, well, he's been a full season starter of when we won the league. So you can understand why that's his mentality.
If you're Joe, you're scratching your head now going, ooh, okay, this is got a bit tougher. We've seen Camerio get a start alongside me last night. We've seen Kanade come in and do really well. Nat Phillips steps up massively. So I can understand if Joe maybe has a look and thinks, maybe I should move. But it's going to be very difficult for us to replace Joe if he does go. Because, he is very experienced for a young player.
If he leaves because he wants to leave, I admire that. But I also will be happy that he's gone. Because the type of players I want at Liverpool is ones who are willing to compete for their positions, willing to fight for their spot. And if you're good enough and you believe you're good enough, then why is Virgil van Dijk going to get in your way? Because you'll be able to step up when the time is right, like Kanate is doing now. There's now people saying Kanate over Matip. A few games ago, I don't think there would be many people saying that. There's now people saying that. I think when you...
I never knock a footballer who wants to play football. Never. I never will.
Neither do I.
They're short careers. And if he wants... If he looks and goes, well, look, I back myself. I'm good. I know I'm good. But you can't tell me that he wouldn't go down brilliantly at Villa Park playing for Stevie G at Aston Villa or something like that. He would. He'd be loved as well. Absolutely. Definitely. And I think it would be great for him. Now, I'm not wishing away Joe Gomez. The only reason we're talking about this is because that article linking him to Real Madrid is doing the rounds. And, I mean, if it's true and if they're interested in him, you couldn't begrudge still had the opportunity if you said, do you know what?
That'd be boss. That'd be boss for him. Usually, English players don't have the greatest track record with going to that league. That being said, I believe he has got the attributes to it, and I think he needs that something new. There's an opening there in the defence, I'm sure, because they've got Ede, Militao. I'm trying to think of Nacho Fernandez, like good centre backs. Don't get me wrong, but Joe Gomez in his own brain is a Premier League winning centre back. He's only 23, 24 years of age. He could definitely walk into the team. There's not an impossible... It's not like this is Ramos and Thiago Silva next to each other. Like, there is an opening there. So I believe, why not? You know what I mean? Why not go there if the opportunity is presented? Because he's more likely to start there than Liverpool, and he's still going to compete for trophies. Real Madrid's the top of La Liga. Doesn't hurt if you have a La Liga on your resume.
I'm saying all this, right, and I'm talking about him and maybe moving him up, but at the same time, the back of my mind, I'm almost certain that we're going to move Nat Phillips on, and there's no way we're selling two of them in one window.
Well, Joe Gomez, I think, will stay. I think he's going to stay. I think Klopp has said to him, I want you a part of the plans, otherwise Nat Phillips would be the one staying, but I think we know we're probably not going to get more money for Nat Phillips than right now. That 15 million value won't stay with them.
Gomez is a better centre-back than Nat Phillips, particularly in a high line like we play.
Yeah, in high line, but that doesn't mean he's a better centre-back. I honestly don't know. From what I've seen, Nat Phillips has done nothing wrong. I think he had one mistake against Newcastle.
It's hard to judge that because he's got a handful of games at a high level, but he's never let us down in that handful of games.
I want to know what the chat's going to say to that question. Who do you think's better, Joe Gomez or Nat Phillips? Just in your opinion. I know one's done more than the other, but still, you can only judge them on what you've seen, and what I've seen from Nat Phillips is nearly flawless.
It's a difficult one because Gomez, he's silky smooth. He is. There's just something about him that you believe he's calm, he's composed, he's got pace, good ball playing centre back.
Think about this. Joe Gomez has arguably played the same or less games than Nat Phillips in the past season and a half. Really. When you think about it based on his injuries and stuff like that. We're talking about constantly, Joe Gomez, he hasn't played for a while. Nat Phillips plays once every 6 weeks. Every time he steps up, he's solid. So... I don't know. Honestly, I think that's a lot closer of a question than what people would suggest. I'd still edge Joe Gomez, but I think it's a lot closer.
I think the chat, by the looks of it, I mean, there's a few shouts for both, but I'm gauging maybe just Joe. But you know what? I think for the reason it's Joe is probably because we've seen a lot more of him as well. We know we've seen Joe in the title winning season. We've seen him in big Champions League games. We haven't really had the chance. As limited as the opportunities Nat Phillips have been, it's no surprise that Klopp comes out and says he's one of the most improved players, because every time he's faced the step up, he's managed to be at that level. So we don't know what his ceiling is yet.
Devil's avocado. So I'm kind of playing as devil's advocate right now because I do like Joe Gomez, but me asking these questions will make it sound like I don't. Joe Gomez, in relation to the Nat Phillips and Joe Gomez question, Joe Gomez played that season with Virgil van Dijk. In Nat Phillips' full season with Liverpool, or nearly full season, he played with Reece Williams.
I'm going to have to take a poll up.
Like, that's really think about it, chat. Like, when Joe Gomez has stepped up, he's done that with Virgil van Dijk. And please do, throw me a sort of a retaliation answer. Throw me something that proves I'm wrong, because I'm sure there will be a hole in my argument. But full season with Virgil van Dijk, Nat Phillips does it with Reece Williams and is amazing. Ozan Kabak and is amazing. So, how do we judge this? Like, Nat Phillips has had more better performances in recent seasons than Joe Gomez. Nat Phillips hasn't been given a chance next to Virgil van Dijk. Like, all these are variables.
We'll let the chat have their vote, and we'll go back to it in a minute or two.
Okay.
Give them a chance to get their vote.
That one was going to start scrambling my brain, Craig. I'm glad we're moving on.
Let's move back towards transfers for a second. There was one today, another report that said Liverpool are interested in Porto's Luis Diaz. I just don't think he's good enough from what I've seen.
Luis Diaz?
Yeah.
From
Porto winger.
Porto. Oh, yeah, Diaz. Yeah, because I was thinking either him. I was thinking either him or AC Milan. Not going to lie, don't know that much about this player. How old is he?
I couldn't tell you, mate, off the top of my head.
And so the chat, I'm sure, will inform us. So I don't know his position either. So really, I am in no position to talk about this player. But this is what I will. But this is what I will say. I have got still something to say. I can always find something to say, Craig. Don't you worry about that. If the club think he's good enough, go for him. If he's not going to be too out of the range of value, go for him. If he's in that good age group between 21 and 24, go for him, because he sounds like a forward. He's a winger. So he's 24 and a winger is what people are telling me. He fits the criteria of what we kind of need, because I think Liverpool do need a new winger. Probably over a striker, because I'm happy with Origi and Jota. But that's just me. I can understand if you want to.
What's your realistic top 3 wish list for that position then, for an attacking wide player?
Oof. If you were saying forwards, Ivan Toney would be one of them. But if you're going wide players, I'd say Rafinha, Chiesa. This is in no order, by the way. So Rafinha, Chiesa, and to be honest, I'm fine with just them. Like, if you can give me either one of them, I'm very happy with just them.
There's 2 more that I'd add to that list that I wouldn't mind, if I'm being honest. Realistic ones: Harvey Barnes and Jarrod Bowen.
Yeah, I like the other 2. I like my 2 more.
Oh, I like your 2 more as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're top of the pile.
Like 1 and 2, yeah. I think Chiesa, Rafinha, if I include your 2 as well, I'd probably go, that's a good one out of Bowen and Harvey Barnes. That's a good debate. That's one of the debate channels need to do. Harvey Barnes or Jarrod Bowen. I think that's a good question. I'll edge Harvey Barnes and then go with Jarrod Bowen 4th.
Yeah, they're 2 players that aren't probably the sexiest names because they're English-based players.
Harvey Barnes is very good, though. I really like Harvey Barnes.
I think Harvey Barnes could be a similar type of impact of a Diogo Jota when he goes up a level.
Definitely.
Not knocking Moyes as a coach, because clearly he's very good, but I think Harvey Barnes on the club, not Harvey Barnes, excuse me, Jarrod Bowen on the club, I could see a lot of positives to the way he could fit into the system.
No, 100%. In fact, Craig, I'm sorry, because I know we've moved on from the centre-back partnership, so remember the topic that we were just talking about. But someone's just said, is Reece Williams still at Liverpool? He is still at Liverpool. Maybe is he an option in Klopp's mind for the long-term future? So maybe if that could...
minute, isn't he?
Yeah, at Swansea.
Okay. So Cooper's not the manager at Swansea anymore, is he? He's a Forest now, isn't he?
Not sure. Absolutely not sure. But either way, it could be an option, because Reece Williams stepped up in his time at Liverpool as well.
He did. That was a mad time. That was actually Reece Williams breaking through, because I heard nothing about Reece Williams before.
And
We
he's
seen this
20. He's only
slick-looking kid
20.
step in alongside and do a great Virgil van Dijk impersonation for a while, because he did some
Yeah,
great moments.
with his hair as well.
Yeah. That's some great
No, he
moments.
did. Done well. He did
Do
too
you know
well.
who's been linked actually? And God, I hate myself for saying this, James. I hate myself. But I got to bring it up. Plenty of articles doing the round, and it was in the Star again today, that talk about Mohamed Salah asking Liverpool to bring in another striker to help out as part of his contract negotiation. And the one that was doing the rounds was Haaland. But I mean, it's nonsense. Surely that part, I can't see. Even if Mo wants him in, I just can't see that we'll get that deal over the line for Haaland. I can't see anything other than him going to City now that they've sold the guy to Barcelona. What's his name again?
Ferran Torres.
Yeah, Ferran Torres, the former
Yeah.
Valencia. They sold him to Barca for €55 million.
Like, it's not gonna happen. We're barely getting to the skin of our teeth getting Mo Salah's contract sorted. You really think we're gonna get Haaland? And believe me, I would love nothing more than Haaland getting in this. But do you know what, Craig? Do we need him? Because Jota has got double-digit goals and we're in December. Mo Salah's getting
I'd rather
stupid
have him
goals.
than let Man City have him, to be honest.
I get what you're saying, but I think Jota really has to. I'm not saying Jota's better than Haaland, but when you think about, would it be worth spending all that money just to get someone who's going to contribute a few more goals than what Jota's getting? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that, and I think you just get a whole different left winger when Mane starts to go dead shit. Until then, I'm very happy with our front three. It's just about getting backups to see who can push that front three, because that's all that. Like, if we buy Chiesa, he's not going to get in above Salah, nor will Rafinha, but it's still good options. Throw someone else who I'd love, Pedro Neto. A player that really doesn't get mentioned as much. Pedro Neto is unbelievable. Unbelievable
a
player.
Little snidey part in him as well, which I love. But yeah, he's coming back from an injury, to be fair.
And I think that he could be a really good option to push Mane, because he's only like 20, 21. He could learn things off Mane. He's got things that Mane doesn't, so he brings something different to the game. He'd be brilliant signing. So I'd maybe include him in my top 3 wish list, because he's brilliant.
It made me think, though, with Mo having these contract negotiations, Klopp coming out and saying he isn't worried about it. I think there's goodwill on both sides, but it did make me wonder. It did make me wonder: is he looking at maybe the manager situation for his next, or is I can believe that he would say he'd want some assurances that the club are going to bring in talent. I do believe that any player would have these conversations. So it didn't surprise me to see maybe Mo was urging the club to bring in another attacker to take some of the pressure off.
I don't think he would have. I don't think Mo would have. I don't think that's what Mo is. I think he just says, I don't give a fuck. I am Mo Salah and I will score you the goals if no one else will. Like, really, Craig, when you think about the personality of Mo Salah, when you actually think about it from that perspective, do you think he's going to care if Haaland's there?
Well,
Mo Salah.
I do think when you're a player like him, and this is probably the last big contract of your career, your best years are going to be wherever you're signing on next. I wonder, does he just look and go, we could probably do it, another attacker, because we're going to lose one of it.
You've just mentioned the word pressure. That is not in Mo Salah's dictionary. Doesn't exist.
Let me explain what I meant. What I meant was, so Mo Salah has been marked out of games so much, and even though he impacts the games and gets goals, but what I'm kind of saying is another pain in the arse for the opposition defence to deal with, that may give him a little bit more space, that may free up Mane a little bit, that may occupy defenders.
Jota?
Yeah.
Jota's getting double-digit goals.
But
so
we are
that pressure isn't really there, because when Salah doesn't score, Salah scores that often. Think about this, the Premier League greats, Torres, Robbie Fowler, they don't score as often as what Mohamed Salah has been scoring. It's an unusual amount. So even when he doesn't score on the rare occasion, and we do have to rely on a Diogo Jota, that is just football. There will be days where we have Haaland and we have Salah and none of them score. There would be. Because
What
that's
about
just
this
what
one then?
football is. Sometimes you could be too reliant on one man, which can be too much.
So Herman, thank you for the super chat. My man said Bobby, Mane, and Salah all contract expiring in 2023. FSG going to eventually have to spend big. I just can't get away from the fact, James, that I think one of the other two, I don't think Salah, I think one of Bobby and Mane is going to get moved on.
I don't like talking about it. I don't like talking
No, I
about
hate
any of them
talking about
going.
it. But
It's audible, lad. My opinion on it all is, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they are going to go. Like, if you ask me, do I think one of them will leave by the time 2023 hits? Probably. Would I want them to go? No. I think they've just got unfinished business. But if anyone does go, I've said this, I think it's going to be Mane. I think it's going to be my man. And if he does go, he'll be a legend of this club. That would be at that point 7 years, 6, 7 years of service. So it'd be a good amount of time. You've won at least the Premier League and the Champions League. That's something that'll never go unnoticed.
I'll tell you what,
And I
mate,
think
this
it'll be
poll
Mane.
is really close. I'm leaving it open because it's so close.
What's it on?
51-49.
Don't even tell me who for. We'll find
I
out
won't.
at the
I'm
end of the
leaving it running
stream.
in the background. I'll leave it going.
51-49. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I reckon Naldini's winning, but we'll see.
Oh.
We'll see.
Here's one
right.
for you. Super chat question.
Thank you very much.
Where
Thank
do you
my
think
mate.
we'll finish this season?
The season, I think we will finish. If I had to put all my money on it, I'd say second.
Yeah,
That's put all my money on it. It's horrible, but like, how do you write off City in this moment of time where there's no... You bear in mind there's a January transfer window ahead. God, they've just sold a player for 55 million. God knows who they'll bring in. Like, yeah, man, they don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. Hopefully, they buy such a big player who ends up being a flop, and then they'll go to shit. Otherwise, I don't know.
Well, Pep's come out and said that they're not going to bring in a striker in the January market. So it looks like they're going to make.
He is custy without a striker in. Like, he's just thinking.
Oh, he'd happily never find another one.
Yeah, definitely. He just wants good players. Pep Guardiola, and this is going to sound disrespectful, but I mean it in the best way. He's a FIFA manager. He just wants good players. Give him good players, like just good technical players who can do his tiki-taka bullshit, like, and he's happy. He doesn't want someone who can just finish, because that doesn't suit the way he plays. He wants everyone to be getting the food. The fullbacks to be getting in with the goals, and the centre-backs and the midfielders. You know, he wants everyone to be chipping in. And if that works, and if that gets some results, which, by the way, it does, then leave him to it without having any pressure. I think if you're going to buy anyone, buy someone who's going to improve your current system. Even Houlden, like, I do think he'd do well at City, but is he exactly what they need? Is he going to improve their link-up play? I don't think he will, so I don't even think City will be interested in Erling Haaland, to be dead honest. While Pep's there.
Lovely little message, this, and Merry Christmas to you as well, Stephen, and your family, my
There's
man.
right, Stephen. There's right, Stephen. Merry Christmas,
Very
my
kind.
mate.
Here's one you'll like, James. Thank you for the super chat, Aiden. Really kind, mate. Said Nat is yet to make a mistake. Gomez made 4 in a game.
It was the amount. It was the amount of mistakes Gomez made in the game. It was, I even tweeted at half time out of a lot of emotion. I didn't know Joe Gomez had signed for Leicester. Because laddie,
that went down well, James. I'd say that went down well.
He was laying it on the plate for them. Honestly, like, I'm thinking to myself, how come? Like, this is a Premier League winning centre back who can't even. Like, I thought Cometio was the best of the two. Yes, I know. I was thinking it was a bit blurry there. Oh, I don't like. Like, usually, get on this. Let me see if this works. Go on, zoom in on that beautiful face if you so wish. Oh, I could do with a bit of Manscaped. It's just dead annoying because it doesn't do it. Either way, I'll keep talking while I try to fix this nonsense because it does this all the time. Feel the force, camera. Feel the force, motherfucker. And now I'm dead dark and now I'm back to blurry. Yeah, so, anyway. This is going to be a problem, Craig. I don't know how to sort it. Joe Gomez, love you, but too many mistakes.
Yeah, there was a lot last night, mate. There was. It was tough, especially when you already had a team that had Billy Comedio in it, that had Connor Bradley in it, that had Tyler Morton in it, and that had a load of young players that needed to be guided and helped through the game. If you're expecting mistakes to come, you're expecting it probably from the younger guys, at least subconsciously.
100%. That's what I mean. Like, if you expect anyone, and by the way, I'm just fixing my camera, but in a more extravagant way, hence why I'm just a little bit more pause. Basically, when I say extravagant, I mean I'm giving it kisses and hoping that it works, which it kind of has. So,
I love a little bit of a kiss.
Cometio, I thought he was sound, but if anyone went off, I wouldn't have minded it being Joe Gomez, because I just genuinely thought he was bad. But I didn't agree with the decision to start Cometio. I didn't agree with the decision to start Bradley. I was fine with Morton. Morton, for me, has got over that line. Like, he's now entering the Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott bracket. Like, he's proven he's got enough there. And also, like, we've saw over the seasons, like Trent last season, he had, like, a learning season where it only made him better this time round. Like, I think let Morton make the mistakes now, and next season we've got ourselves one hell of a player. That's just my opinion, because I really do think he's got some serious potential. But we relied a little bit too much on them. Like, we're relying on Nico Williams to be Gareth Bale, which is nonsense, even though he's a good player. But I'm still happy with the way he stepped up. Like, we're relying on Minamino.
I agree with this. I think we'll all agree with this, to be fair. We all miss Harvey Elliott.
He's the one player, like, the one youngster that I can say, like, one day soon, I know we'll be able to put him in the conversation with, like, the Phil Fodens and stuff like that. I think we will. I think he can be in that conversation because he's so good on the ball, so direct, and he's not the typical winger, or even when he plays midfield, who's just relying on getting in behind the defence. He looks to create and he looks to shoot, and he gets good numbers as well. Like, he done great at Blackburn, so he's only going to benefit this team so much.
Shirt. That's my next signed shirt I want. Is a Harvey Elliott signed shirt.
Harvey Elliott shirt. I'll need to tell him to send me one. You know what I mean? I'll need to tell him to send us both one, Craig.
A little too Craig.
just like next Christmas, we'll make sure that we get one sent over from him. Yours and sincerely, Harvey.
I mean, I had a Sterling one when he was coming through as well. And I loved him. Absolutely loved Raheem when he was breaking through.
I love Raheem.
Glad that ended the way it did. But yeah, Harvey Elliott's not going to break our hearts. So Harvey, if you're watching, and I bet you are, I bet you do watch Harvey, then yeah, come on, sort us out. We'll send the shirts over, mate. All we need is your John Hancock on them and we're good to go.
Unpopular opinion. Sterling got overhated when he left Liverpool.
Well, for me, I've always said it, James. I understood him wanting to leave far more than I understood Coutinho. Because one, we hadn't got Klopp yet. Two, he had seen that a club, we were middling. We won't say we're lacking ambition, but we were middling at the time. And then along comes Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, and he knows it's a guarantee of trophies. And it doesn't mean he hated Liverpool, but he wasn't getting on with Rodgers. His agent was a bit of an arsehole at the time. So I understood it. I understood it far more than I did the Coutinho situation, if I'm being honest. I think he was badly advised. That BBC interview we did, I think, was wrong. But I don't think he's a bad lad at all. I don't.
And you're having a go at someone who's not even making decisions for himself. He was about 18 or 19 at the time. And you're thinking he's doing all this by himself. Like, his agent's telling him to do these things. So it's like, you can't blame him. And everything he said he wanted to do to leave Liverpool, he's done. He's won multiple Premier Leagues. The only one he hasn't got is the Champions League. But listen, fucking hell, with the amount of trophies, he's got League Cups, FA Cups, Premier Leagues. Honestly, there's worse things that could have happened than not having it. I'm sure Gerrard would have preferred Sterling's trophy cabinet than his own, which has got a Champions League.
Talent that deserved to be on the highest stage at that point. And we weren't even a regular Champions League team then.
Even Coutinho, like, there was no guarantee we were going to stay on that pedestal. Like, there was no guarantee that Salah was going to be as amazing as he was. And there was no guarantee that, Mane was going to be as amazing as he was. Coutinho had every right to leave also. I understand you'll disagree, Craig, but he had a right to think going to Barcelona, being the main man to replace Neymar. He
forced his way out, and I can see... He
had every right to go there because he devoted his best years to us as well. When we lost Sterling, when we lost Sturridge, when we lost Suarez, Coutinho stayed and he was the main man. So for him to finally bite down on the neck, like, hindsight's a beautiful thing. But at the time, it weren't the greatest. Like, there was probably more of a chance you were going to win silverware at Barca than what you was at Liverpool. And I don't know, both of them leaving, I really didn't mind because it weren't just money motivated to me. Like, if you went to China, like what Oscar did from Chelsea, then that's completely money motivated. Because there's no ambition of leaving a legacy if you go to China. But if you go to a Man City or Bar, like, I can understand that because you're going to be winning trophies.
Here's one. Would you take Sterling back?
No. Defo not. Not better than Mane. And on top of that, I'd rather someone younger who were going to breathe through the team. I don't think there's a good track record of history when you buy a player back.
I think I'd agree with you because the frustration levels of his finishing would do my head in. I mean, I'm already angry enough with Mane sometimes, and he's a good finisher. So but I don't know the same. But I have to admit, I do hold a little bit of hate. Not hate, that's the wrong word. I don't hate any human beings, but I do hold a little bit of bad will towards Coutinho. I won't lie, I do, and it's because I think it hurt me so much because I fucking loved that lad. I did. I absolutely loved him, and the way it came about after signing on, agreeing to stay to the end of the season, and then Barca shithousing it, destabilising them and saying it's now or never and all that stuff. Yeah, it just didn't feel right at the time. But look, hey, it is what it is. At least Raheem Sterling will look back and go, I made the right call. I don't think Coutinho will look back and feel the same way.
Yeah, and if Sterling was to join Liverpool again, he's just left during the shittest period. He joins us when we were decent again. But I don't think that'd be the right move for him or us. I think he should stay at City or go somewhere where he's going to get game time, because I don't think that's guaranteed at Liverpool. But if he did join us back, funny enough, I think he'd do well. Weirdly,
I think he'd do well wherever he is. He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Infuriating at times because of his finishing. It's really
that's the thing, though. But
by his finishing, though, I'm baffled by how bad it is.
There's very few players that are perfect, but what they do, they're very good at. And Sterling is what he does. He's very good at. It's just his finishing lets him down sometimes, but you're still seeing him getting decent numbers. He steps up in big games, all that and more. You wouldn't mind that, but Mane does all them same things. Just think people forget Mane scored in the Champions League final. He scored some big goals in our history. He scored some massive goals. We've got a lot of big game players as it is. So now I just think it's about getting youth through or getting younger players through, like Jota's, for example, and pushing forward with them, because that excites me much more of what could be opposed to what could have been.
We'll start to wind it down a bit. We have a few more minutes to go, but a couple of little points to get through. Firstly, how are you feeling about the Leeds game being postponed?
Yeah, it's not ideal. I never like our games being postponed, but at least now we get a rest, which we haven't had for a while, pretty much all December. My family's doing that fuzzy thing again, which is fucking annoying. But the game itself, I felt like we would have won it. I think we're going to win it whenever we play them again. So I'm fine with it.
It means we'll have the lads back as well from the lads that are currently out.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking, because now our next game is Leicester, I believe, away.
Which gives Klopp more time to work with the lads and be fully focused.
So there you go. That'll be a good one, to be fair. So I think that's one where, like you said, when you've got Thiago back, just to use as an option and whatever, it'll be good. And do you know what as well? I just can't wait to see the boys play again, because we've got that. So I know we drew to Spurs, and in a way we drew to Leicester, and had to beat them on penalties. But I think always after the game, like Leicester, Liverpool usually have a good little run. They're really feeling themselves and they want to get going again. And think as well, Salah never played against Leicester, Mane never, Virg never, Fabinho never, Thiago never, Henderson played 45 actually played a bit more than that. Otherwise, though, everyone was rested. So now they're going to be eager to go again after drawing to Spurs. So I think it's actually going to weirdly benefit Liverpool out of a shit situation.
The situation is a bit of a shit one, though. He now misses the Chelsea game.
My thoughts.
3-game ban. Served one last night. The Leeds game's postponed, so it'll be the Leicester game that'll be number 2 now.
Well, at least we've got Costas. Because I was going to say, I think Costas had a good game against Leicester as well. Thought he was the only one who was trying to create things against them, but he just never had the quality around him. That's why I don't mind when we don't have Robbo there no more, because we've got a great backup option. It's the same with our back four. I think we've got a great backup back four. So yeah, lads, I'm fine with Costas stepping in. I think he'll do a job against Chelsea. Better than Alonso.
And lastly, what's Christmas Day looking like for Mr. Redmond? What's the plan?
Christmas Day, great bloody hell. Do you know what? It's probably going to consist of a lovely roast dinner made by Mama Redmond, then going on to go to Mama Redmond's and my family, family friends and bullshit like that, having a few drinks, few pints, reminisce on the year, pull a few crackers, and have some lovely scran, hopefully, because I've heard there's going to be a buffet. So I'll send you a few WhatsApps of that, lad, and you can judge the food that I'm scanning. And yeah, just have a good night in general. I've got to that age.
I won't lie.
I'm at that age now, and look at me making myself sound dead old, where I want a nice quiet one. Usually Christmas has got a lot of energy involved, and you know, it only feels like yesterday I was there playing with me fucking Power Rangers that my ma bought me. But that's done now. I'm at the stage where I'm getting boxies and I want clothes. So like, I just want to have a nice peaceful one, you know what I mean, with the adults finally, and cheers and all that business. What about yourself though, lad?
Full on lazy day. Usually we go up
Lovely.
to my mother and father in law's, Serena's parents, but we're going to go up there on what you call Boxing Day, Stevens's Day over
Yeah.
here instead.
What is it called?
We call it St. Stevens's Day or Stevens's Day.
Oh, who's Stevenson?
Saint, I don't fucking know, mate. I'm not religious, but
Oh,
Saint
some fella.
Stevens.
Oh, say Stevens. Shout out to Stevens, like, you know what I mean? I'm sure he was sound.
We'll be heading up there. But on Christmas Day, I will be streaming. I'll be doing a stream at about 8:45. I tell you what, on Stevens Day, on Christmas Day. No, it's the New Year's stream. I'll probably be drunk on New Year's Eve. I'm doing a stream on New
Very
Year's Eve.
nice.
A good chance I'll have a few drinks. So if anyone wants to see drunk Craig, come along on New Year's Eve. I'll be working right through. I think I'm taking Boxing Day off. That's it. Yeah, taking that day off.
Yeah.
I got up to the in-laws and having some family time. But Christmas Day is going to be just family with me, the kids, PS5. I've got to download and play FIFA now, James, because we hit the sub count on Twitch. So.
Yes, there's some more belter content for you all to enjoy. Do a career mode. You'll rage in a career
it's going to
mode.
be carnage in a bad way. Like, do you know what I mean? It's going to be just me being shit.
Yeah. You're gonna be just be careful, because you know, like, you pay people on Anfield's agenda. You might have no money left when you have to keep spending your money on new controllers after you play this career mode.
And they're hard
So
to
be
get.
careful.
I'm already looking into it. They're not that easy to get yet, the actual legit ones.
And they're not cheap either. So on both departments, you could be fucked.
Oh, I'm
And
between
what a
me and
lovely comment from you, Jamie. Thank you very much. Honestly, really means a lot. That lad just saw thank you to James. I was like, oh, what have I done here? You know what I mean? And then he was just like,
Jamie's an absolute star. Jamie always sends in loads of lovely comments and
superstar.
stuff after one. So let's finish and show the poll actually.
Oh shit! Yeah, I nearly forgot about that.
It went a little bit wider than we thought. So
go on.
There you go. Gomez 54%. Nah, 45%. I don't know where the other 1% disappeared to, but
still very, very close. Very, very close. Yeah, sound. You know what I mean?
With the Twitch stream yesterday of the game, by the way, it was
I was made up when you told me about that. I was made
mental.
up.
I think we got like Suxy, you know, Suxy the legend that is on our channel, gifted like 70 subs or something.
Yeah,
on Twitch.
What?
Yeah, about and then
wow.
50, I think about $500 worth of stuff donated yesterday. Yeah, unbelievable.
Who done that?
Suxy.
Well, shout out to Suxy. What a lovely thing.
And then
to
there was
do.
another
Thank
guy
you
came in, donated 20, I think. So yeah, we've my wife's, I think she's upstairs now, actually downloading FIFA 22 onto the PS.
1800 views, weren't it?
And we peaked at about 1880. Yeah, I think it was, which was mad. It was really odd.
Listen.
We were going to be happy with 250 to 500 in the chat. We would have been over the moon with.
Yeah.
Didn't hear any of that. It went a bit wobbly.
I was so.
I'm just hearing random.
Wait there.
Yeah. He's coming back in a sec to say his goodbyes, folks. Yeah, at least it happened at the end of the stream. You know what I mean? At least it happened at the perfect time. Let me add James back in. Once his camera comes up, 1 second. I'll add him back in to say his goodbye. He's coming back in the background. 1 sec. There we go. He's back now. Let me add him in. There he is.
Lads, I can only imagine how funny that looks. Am I back?
Yeah, you sounded like a Dalek there for a while. It was just eek.
Yeah. Oh,
it's off again. no idea what James is saying. So let's just say goodbye, everybody. Yeah, he's sort of back there in the background. Thank you, Rabadan, as well, by the way. Absolute legend.
Thank you. Am I back?
Yes,
this
you're back.
Is bullshit. This is proper bullshit. Jack level internet. Someone just said to him when Jack was messing up to a whole other level. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, well, what I was trying to say, because I saw it gives the little Wi-Fi symbol when your connection's going shit, so I knew it was happening. And I was like, is my connection good? Is my connection good? I don't know what I was saying, but what I want to say is everyone have a beautiful Christmas with your families. Enjoy it. Enjoy spending time with them, because Craig's been working like a motherfucker, and I don't know when you get a day off, lad, so I made up you're getting a day off on Boxing Day. Everyone else, I'm sure, is in a similar boat. Working all the time is a stress. So enjoy Christmas. Have a lovely one. And yeah, from me and everyone at Anfield Agenda, we love you. So it'll be good to see you again soon.
Absolutely, we do indeed. And I will be back tomorrow for a Christmas Eve stream, early doors, I think at about 6 o'clock. But until then, thank you to James, thank you to you guys. Have a wonderful Christmas. Thank you to our sponsors, Manscaped, as well. And we will talk to you soon. Bye bye.